Hi, I'm Danielle Fagazi with National Mortgage News. I'm joined by Tanya Clevey, Sales Manager with Equifax Mortgage Services. Today we're going to talk about how third-party verifications can help mortgage lenders balance meeting regulatory standards with delivering that higher standard of service borrowers demand today. Tanya, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, Danielle. Happy to be here.
The number one pain point for mortgage borrowers is gathering all the financial information lenders need to do the due diligence. Even in today's digital age, writing mortgages is still such a paper-based process. At the same time, consumers increasingly expect the so-called Amazon experience. Can you, one, define that Amazon experience, and also just talk a little bit about how online shopping has reshaped what customers expect and their attitudes towards all of their business relationships?
Sure. So what we've seen happen is this traditional brick and mortar shopping experience go online, which allows the retailers to meet those consumers where they are, both literally and figuratively. So if I have a mobile or a laptop or some other electronic device, I can do my shopping from any location at any time. And I think the success is rooted in establishing those traditional shopping experiences, incorporating those into an online experience, and then creating that ease of use, simplicity, and speed for the consumer, right? So the ability to shop different locations, store things in my shopping cart, come back, do my research, look at reviews, and compare different products before I actually make the purchase. And then reducing the friction of the purchase itself by introducing things like Amazon Pay or Apple Pay so that the consumer doesn't have to step away from the cart to go get their credit card, make the payment, right? It makes that much more seamless and more likely for that consumer to click purchase or buy. And then the added layer of transparency for the consumer once they've made that purchase, right? They're empowered to determine what's more important for delivery options. Do I want to pay extra for day 1, day 2, day 7? And then the transparency during the delivery process. So you're notified when it's left the warehouse, you're notified when it's reached your local distributorship, and then every milestone until ultimately it meets your front door, right?
So, Tanya, how does this translate in the mortgage industry? What does this mean?
Sure. Well, it's no secret that mortgage lenders are appealing to the same digital savvy consumer, right? And so as these consumers get comfortable shopping online and start having these experiences, they want to have those throughout everything they do, between retail shopping, grocery shopping, buying a car, buying a home, right? Consumers are very comfortable doing that online engagement. And it's happening, it's been happening in our industry for a number of years, right? It's no secret what the industry is up to by creating online applications, online monitoring of your loan, and simplifying that process by working with third-party vendors, partners, platforms, and third-party data providers.
So, how does the third-party verification help speed up the lending process? And what are they actually verifying, and where are you getting that data from?
Yeah. Well, the use of third-party data isn't a new concept, right? But the focus in the industry for the last few years has been around income, employment, assets, other things that traditionally the consumer or borrower is providing to the lender. And there's a lot of providers in the space, and the data is being sourced a number of different places. So some are still leveraging consumers to upload and provide documentation. Others are going straight to the employer to collect information, and in some cases directly with the financial institution.
So it's clear that the third-party verification helps with the paper chase. But can you talk a little bit about how it can improve the borrower experience?
Yeah. So the paper chase is a big piece of it. I think we've all experienced that. But what consumers may not understand is that, as an example, I'm at an open house for a home that I fall in love with, right? So by using this digital online experience, I can go in and fill out my application, and where third-party data is used in real time, that lender can approve me. I see this is your income, these are your assets, you're approved. Now, as I go in to make an offer on that home, I have a stronger bidding power, right, over perhaps another buyer of that home, and that I can make an offer and I'm already approved. Additionally, if I'm using a lender that is online or using third-party verifications, many lenders are quoted in market saying that they can get application to close reduced by 5 to 11 days, right? It varies by lender. So as a consumer, right, I perhaps have more bidding power in getting a tighter closing window, or it could better accommodate my personal needs for closing.
So flip the perspective a little bit. Can you talk about what this means from the lender's perspective using third-party verification?
Yeah. There's quite a list there, I think, but lenders are looking to automate, right? We're looking to automate, we're looking to create efficiencies, and in doing so, you can create consistency in your process, right? So you create trigger events of when you're going to go out and seek data from these third parties versus a human making a decision and that decision being variable, right? So you have consistency. You've created efficiencies for your sales, your processing, underwriting, and closing, and that they no longer have to analyze different documents and compare them. You can pull in images and XML data into your own internal calculators to allow your human capital to focus on the more complex cases.
How can lenders ensure that the data is actually accurate?
Yeah. Well, a critical question in that is where the data is sourced from, right? Who is the entity or the data furnisher on the other end? And does that data furnisher or source understand who and how the data is being used? So the source of the data is critical. Another piece of that is to understand how is the data being captured, right? Who all is involved in the capture? Is the data structure changing? Are there calculations being made which could introduce some concern of accuracy? The other element that I would encourage lenders to look for is in the data sources they're using, what protections does the consumer have? In the event that there's an accuracy error or issue that translates into a negative decision for the consumer, what rights are in place and what obligations are on those data furnishers to correct that.
Are there any other issues lenders should consider when they're thinking about cost versus the advantages of using third-party validation?
Yeah. Certainly you want to make sure that you're selecting a provider who, follows state and regulatory requirements, seeking to understand how that information is made available. So are these third-party providers available through your LOS, your loan origination system, or your point of sale application? And if there is an integration, what is included in the integration, right? Are you just receiving images that still require you to upload and compare? Or do you also get an XML data stream that allows you to parse that data and really implement it into your system? And the other thing I would recommend, or things for lenders to consider, many partners are in the space, right? I think lenders are working more now with partners than perhaps they ever have. And as they're working with a platform provider, bring in your third-party verification provider. They're really the subject matter experts on usability, implementation, and how to best get the value for what you're spending.
Tanya, thank you so much for dropping by. For more information about how the digital age is reshaping the mortgage industry, please watch the rest of our video series.